reach, close combat. So in close combat, they can hit up to 2 inches away.
Okay.
So when you charge, you only have to end your movement 2 inches away. So it gives them an extra threat range. Normally they'd have to, if you move 9 inches for your charge, the model would have to be only 9.5 inches away for you to get to it. But with you, it can be up to 11 inches away. Because you move your 9 inches, you're still within close combat. You're still within the melee range. So just so you know that. I think Sorsha might have that too. Yes, her big weapon here has reach as well. It's not always obvious by looking at the models if they have reach or not, because some of the warjacks look like they should have reach because they're huge, but they don't. Most warjacks don't have reach. Just kind of keep that in mind. I don't think either of Vlad's weapons has reach either. What you would see is a little icon underneath the weapon. That axe icon is reach. And then the sparkly sword icon is a magic weapon, just so you see that right there. In the rule book, there's an appendix of all the different icons and what they mean.
So reach is always the same distance? Or
it's 2 inches, yeah, always. Yeah, you either have a 1/2 inch melee range or you have a 2 inch if you have reach. And you can have different weapons. One could have reach and one doesn't. So if you're 2 inches away, you can only use the one weapon. But if you're 1/2 inch away, you can use both.
Okay.
And so you have your Warcaster now.
Warcaster, so I'm guessing it'd be a good idea to move up behind this warjack.
Sure. Your Iron Fang pikeman can actually block line of sight to him as well.
Okay.
As long as it's something of equal or larger size base.
Okay.
So it's sometimes easier to block it. You don't have to worry too much, except that you might be in range of these guys, but you're going to still have 6 focus on you, which means your armor will be 6 higher. That'll make it nearly impossible for my guys to hurt him. The other thing that you could do is you could use 4 of your focus to cast Blood of Kings. In fact, this is something I often do when I'm playing Vlad. I'll always cast one or the other, Blood of Kings or Signs of Importance. Because by casting Blood of Kings on yourself, it lasts 1 round. So during my turn, you'd have +3 speed, strength, mat, defense, and armor, which means you'd have 3 higher defense and 3 higher armor. Now you'd be sacrificing 4 focus, which would normally give you +4 armor, to get 3 armor. But you'd also get a 3 extra defense, which I can tell you basically makes Vlad almost impossible to hit. So that's often what I'll do to keep him protected, is I'll cast one or the other spell.
And do you get full focus
yes,
every turn?
Every turn you replenish all your focus.
Okay.
So the only reason to camp your focus is to give yourself extra armor. But in this case, you can give yourself 3 extra armor by casting a spell and 3 extra defense.
Okay. Let me see that spell card.
Yep, there you go. So it's one at the very top. So you can see that it tells you the range of the spell, which is self, which means you can only cast it on himself. And then it tells you exactly what it does and how many focus it costs.
Now, Wind Wall says that all non-magical range automatically miss against him?
Yep, and against anything within 3 inches. So that might be even a better one. Let's try. I didn't even look at that one. And so both your ward is within 3 inches, is that correct?
It says Wind Wall costs 3 range self.
Okay, and then read what it says in the description.
This model cannot make range attacks. It couldn't anyways.
Yeah.
And non-magical range attacks targeting it automatically miss. When completely within 3 inches of this models cannot make range attacks and non-magical attacks targeting them automatically miss.
So basically it creates a 3-inch kind of range or zone around him that nothing can fire in and out of.
Okay.
So that would be a good one too. In fact, sounds like a better one, because then it stops both of them from being targeted by my non-magical ranged attacks, which is basically everything. So you want to cast that one instead?
Let's cast that one.
So that's 3 focus?
3 focus and Wind Wall.
So Wind Wall is up. So there we go. Okay, so that's the end of your turn. You've activated all your models. So now it is my turn again. So maintenance phase, the first thing that happens...
One quick question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can you cast more than 1 spell in a turn?
You can cast as many as you like.
Up to the focus?
Yeah, as long as you have focus left. And you can cast them at any time, too. You can cast them in melee. You can cast them... You can move, shoot a range attack, and then cast a spell. You can cast a spell, move, shoot a range attack, cast a spell. You can cast them whenever you want, as long as you have not run.
Okay.
So did you have another one you wanted to cast?
No, not at this point.
Okay. So moving on to my turn, the maintenance phase, the focus is removed from my warjack because it's unused. And then in the control phase, my Warcaster replenishes all of her focus. Always all of it, unless there's some special effect going on. And then we have our control phase, where I get to allocate focus. Now, my bombard is 14, but when you get hit by a blast weapon, unless you're directly hit by it, it's always at half strength, so it'll be strength 7. Mm-hmm. Your guys are armor 18 right now. So 7 versus 18, I have to roll 11 or higher, no, sorry, 12 or higher to kill one of them. So even on 3 dice, because I could boost the damage and use 3 dice, I could start to kill some of them. And because I can't fire him, then I'm going to want him to do as much damage as he can. So I'm going to allocate, let's see, do I have any fancy spells that I want to try to use? Nothing really that has good range. I'm going to allocate 3 focus to my destroyer to see if he can do a lot of damage to your Iron Fang pikemen.
Okay.
So this round I'm going to try to kill as many of your Iron Fang pikemen as I possibly can. And that is all I'm going to allocate. That's all I can allocate. I can't give him any more than 3. Then we will activate. I will activate my Jack first, because he might as well do his damage while you guys are still clumped together. So it's a disadvantage of shield wall, but at the same time, I'm only going to be hitting that strength 7, unless I get a direct hit. He's going to move forward 4 inches, keep his focus with him, and he's going to target this guy with a ranged attack. So he's within the 14 inches.
Okay.
So now that we're using an AoE, what we do is we roll first to see if we hit him. What is the defense of your Iron Fang pikemen?
The defense is 13 plus 4 because of the...
No, you have plus 4 to your armor, not your defense. You're still just as easy to hit.
Gotcha.
But you're much harder to hurt. Think of it that way. So your 13 defense, my range attack really sucks on my guy. It is actually only a rad of 4. So in order to hit you, I'd have to roll 9 or higher on 2 dice. So I'm going to use one of the focus to boost that. Because if I hit you, then you're most likely dead. Because it'll be the guy who's directly hit will get the full power plus strength or power 14 hit. Against armor of 18, most likely I'll kill you. So I'll use a focus to try to get that. So now I get to roll 3 dice instead of 2. Okay. I need to roll 9 or higher. And I got it. So I don't know if I would have failed it otherwise, because you never know. So I get a direct hit. So now you center the template on the guy. And this actually has nothing to do with him being under the center of the template. It's if I hit him or not. If I missed him and the thing scattered directly on top of another guy, he would still only get hit with half damage.
Okay.
So it's only ever if you hit the guy does he take the full power of a blast weapon or an AoE weapon. So the guy in the middle is going to take a power 14 hit, and then everybody else underneath the 3-inch blast, which will be the 2 guys with him, will take power 7. So I'm not going to boost the power 14 one. I'll boost the other 2 instead. So right now his armor is 14 plus 4, which is 18.
Okay.
So I have to roll 14 against 18. I'll have to roll 5 or higher to kill him. So there, the guy in the middle is dead. Now at this point, effectively, your shield wall is gone. But with a blast weapon, all hits are simultaneous. That's an important thing to always note with the game. If it doesn't say they're simultaneous, then what would actually happen is now they're at a shield wall and they'd be down to power, or they're down to armor 14. But a blast, an AoE, will always be simultaneous. So they still benefit from the 18. But when these guys activate and fire at them, these guys will no longer have an armor of 18.
Okay.
So we'll go against your leader first. So this will be 7 versus 18. So I need to roll a 12. Okay. So that's when I wanted to use a focus and boost it and use 3 dice. So that one failed. And then the guy in the back, I'll use the other focus to boost that one. And he failed as well. So some pretty bad rolling for those 2, but I did still kill a guy, so I can't complain. His activation is over. You can also use focus to buy extra attacks, but every gun has a rate of fire, and you cannot buy more attacks than there is the rate of fire. The rate of fire of his bombard is 1, which means I can't fire again.
Okay.
So I can't keep going. But if you had a rate of fire 2, which is unusual for area weapons, then I could use a focus and fire again. Okay. And then I could use more focus to boost it and do all I wanted to.
Right.
Clear as mud?
Clear as mud.
Okay. Next, the Winter Guard are going to activate. They're going to move over 6 inches. You can sacrifice your movement and get +2 to your range attack, to your roll. Mm-hmm. But in this case, I think they'll be too far away. So they're not going to do that. So there they are. And they're going to start firing at your guys over there. Now each guy can choose a different target, so it doesn't really matter. So he's going to fire at your squad leader guy. Now these guys have a range of 8. So he's within range. So the defense of yours is 13. The rat of my Winter Guard infantry is 5. So I have to roll 8 or higher to hit.
Okay.
So first guy, him against him. Oh, that's a hit. The power of their weapon is 12. And your armor right now is only 14. So I only have to roll I only have to roll 3 or higher to kill him.
Uh-oh.
So he's dead. So now you swap him out for another unit because somebody else becomes a squad leader. It's up to you who it is. Okay, so he's done. So now we're going to do something special because I want to show how this works. We're going to do a combined attack. See, the only people who have the special rule combined attack, you can see that by the double guns. Your Iron Fang pikemen have double spears, which means they can do combined melee attacks. That's that symbol right there, if you can see that on the camera. So they can do a combined, and that means any subgroup can decide to all fire at the same target. So what you do is I'm going to say these 3 are going to fire at this guy. The reason I'm going to do combined is because with his armor of 18, it's going to be a lot harder for me to hurt him. And also because I want to demonstrate how it works. So first...
You can combine any number?
Yes, I could do these 3, and then these 2 could combine against somebody else.
Or all 5?
All 6 of them could, yeah.
Okay, so it just adds the bonus, but you get less attacks.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the idea, you usually combine when you're going up against something with higher armor, lower defense. Or actually, it could even be higher defense because you get a bonus to that as well. But usually you go up, when it's up against something with higher armor, you will combine.
Okay.
And so they all have to be in range, which they are. You choose one as the focal point. I'll say this guy. If you happen to have one that had a higher rat, you'd want to choose him, obviously. And then you get the number of models is the bonus you get to both the attack and the damage roll. So I'll get +3 to my attack and +3 to my damage.